Okay. Are you, if I remember correctly, last week you told me you were all part of the Rogue Farm Corps, right? Mm-hmm. And then a couple of you guys as brothers had come back from last year.
Second year, and Nick.
3 of you had come back from last year. Okay. Right. From your perspective, how does that work? Do they put you together just ad hoc, or you say, no, we want to be in a group together, or is there a lottery?
Well, there's different farms that you apply for, so you can kind of pick like which ones you've been looking at. Yeah, it's regional too, so you can pick what region, and then if there's like a specific farm you've been looking at. Yeah. So they list them on their website.
Everybody's got a profile and sort of gives a rundown of, what kind of production is going on, your responsibilities, how long the season is going to be, there's a stipend, the living arrangements.
How much does the organization intercede, work between you and the farmer?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of there if you want it, I would say.
I think it's more that Rogue Farm Corps provides sort of a set of networking and connections to all the interns, so you get the opportunity to meet all these different people in your region who are doing work related to food and agriculture, and they are the ones that are the intermediaries for setting up all of those different classes. So we take 20 or 30 classes throughout the season at the other host farms, but also at a variety of other businesses and enterprises.
So you travel to another farm from here just for a workshop?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, once a week.
As a work-learn experience, for those of you that are here for the first time, is it what you imagine?
Yeah, I did the woofing program last year, so I kind of knew somewhat of what I was getting myself into, but this farm is definitely 5 times the size of the one I was on. Mm-hmm. So I kind of knew. I mean, you sign up to farm, you're going to be weeding and shoveling and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And at most farms, it's just 1 or 2 interns. So this is a unique setup at this farm.
Right, I think this is one of the biggest groups of interns that a host farm would take.
I think it's the largest farm.
And so your group is 7?
Yeah, and we'll actually be adding another.
And Sarah Lee, is this enough people for what you need? The size of the crew?
Yeah, this is a lot more than we had last year, but we also have a lot more going on, and we had quite a lot of attrition last year, and so we were really short. It was really just the 4 of us for the whole season doing a lot of work, and it took a lot of rising to that occasion, I have to say. It was above and beyond.
So did you think maybe you were not going to return to the Rogue Farm Corps this year and instead try something else?
No, I mean, I'm pretty committed to the education aspect of the Rogue Farm Corps and opening the farm to people who want to learn how to farm. It feels much better with this number of people than what we had last year, for sure. I think that to farm really well, especially on our big field and stuff, it is quite possible that we would need more people. It's hard though, because needing people sometimes or part-time, or it's you're better off getting a labor crew to come at a time when you really need it versus educating and housing and feeding people and having people here 24/7. That's I don't know if we would really comfortably be able to have that many more people. Plus the communal situation. I mean, this is right where is pretty comfortable and kind of at its max, I would say, just in terms of our space and our infrastructure and things for people to be really comfortable and not just feel on top of each other, But labor crews are really hard to find as well. We tried really hard last year to find labor crews, and we just couldn't. We just ultimately had to like get tough and do it ourselves.
Yeah, didn't you have like some agreements and people just didn't show up?
Yeah, I mean, we tried and we talked about that too amongst the four of us. Okay, what are we gonna do? Like, we weighed stuff out.
Yeah.
We talked about it financially, timing-wise. We talked about it physically. We got down on our hands and knees and right next to each other and like, what can we actually do? You know, and we and we just did our best ultimately and had like virtually no help. And and it was a pretty big win. I wouldn't say that the whole farm fell apart. I mean, some things kind of got a little out of hand or fell by the wayside or we kind of missed out, and that's a bummer because you go to the trouble of planting and stuff, but sometimes you gotta know when to let certain things go. So we learned that more. We're reducing some crops. We're planting half as many potatoes as we planted last year because we really got eaten by our potato patch all season. Between like weeding it, we weeded it like you've never seen people like weed. And then harvesting was just unreal. So we have twice as many people and half as many potatoes, and hopefully we'll feel better in October.
With the internships and the apprenticeships, there is this opportunity that I don't know how else to say it, that seems to be lost. You're learning about this place as much as you are learning about growing vegetables and tending the chickens and the pigs and all the rest. So you learn about the expectations of this place, and now you go away. You're going to go back to San Diego, you're going to go back to Texas, you're going to go New York, wherever you go. And part of that is not going to apply, right?
Yeah. One of a good piece of advice that I got when I was looking into programs, this was like a year or two ago, is like pick where you want to farm and then find an apprentice or intern program there, because then you meet the people and you get to know the ecology of that particular place. I think in part because I'm not sure that's kind of my future is farming as my primary source of livelihood. I felt kind of open to being in a variety of different places, but I do think it's like wise to try to be where you think you would imagine farming when you're trying to get your kind of education about it.
I mean, because our season out here is so short, like pretty much 2 months, 2.5 months last year of like, no frost, where other places you get, like up to 6 months or more. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot different.
Mm-hmm. Although if you can farm here, you can probably farm anywhere.
Right.
And figuring out, like, really tracking the weather and taking certain things into account in terms of preparation and just the intervals of seeding and all of those things can be extrapolated. And even like learning this place or any particular farm's place, you can start to learn what you're looking for on your own piece of ground. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, this is how we figured this out, and this is what I have my eye on as either I'm looking for land to buy and things that matter more than maybe they would have before season farming, which I think is really good, and also just being more observant to things that maybe you weren't before is a good thing and quite applicable, I'd say.